So back again with another video talking about aerobic adaptations. And in the first few videos, we talked about the difference between central and peripheral adaptations, what structural adaptations are, what functional adaptations are, but we didn't really dive into what those adaptations lead to in terms of the performance of the actual sport. So for the majority of sports that aren't endurance sports, the primary performance outcomes on the central side. So again, remember, these are adaptations to the heart muscle itself, specifically the left ventricle. The first performance outcome, and in my opinion, the most important outcome of all of them with respect to adaptations to conditioning, is an improvement of the health of the athlete. A better functioning heart, lower blood pressure, is generally going to lead to a healthier human being that plays a sport, i.e. the athlete. The second performance outcome that can't be overstated enough is an improvement in the capacity to recover. And that means recover from everything. That's recover from psychological stressors. That's recovery from physiological stressors. With respect to those physiological stressors, that could be recovery between reps. That could be recovery at halftime. That could be recovery between sessions. It could be recovery between phases of training. The bigger the athlete's aerobic base is and the better those central adaptations are, the higher their recovery capacity goes. So huge, huge adaptation. The third thing is going to be repeatability. So this is, how do we take those high intensity outputs and how quickly can we recover from them? And that's a little bit different. Obviously, it covers a little bit of recovery, but repeatability I like to have as its own outcome because it's so critical to the performance in so many sports. On the peripheral side, primary performance outcomes. First one, you're going to actually increase those high intensity outputs. Even if it's like an intermittent sprint sport like football, you're still going to see a benefit in how those high intensity outputs are executed. You're also going to see an increase in repeatability. However, if we don't have some central adaptations first, you're not going to necessarily see the same kind of repeatability from exclusively the peripheral side or the adaptations that occur on the peripheral side. And then the last thing, you're going to see a decrease in like the subjective intensity for the athlete. So even if you just do a basic, like how intense was training for you today, early in the season, early in the off season, oh, it was coach, it was an 8. And it really wasn't that hard of a session. As those adaptations start to take place, the same session, ask them 6 weeks later, hey, what was the relative intensity of that session? Oh, it was about a 5 RPE. Perfect. That's how you know that those peripheral adaptations are really happening and taking hold.